Now, under admin, system defaults, this is where the system actually knows how to what stock code to use when doing a zero balance adjustment against an ARO. So on the companies tab, mobile phones tab, you'll find a new item that's now been introduced called the default stock item for ARO adjustments on no connections. So by actually going into this section here, clicking on the arrow and pressing F12, the system will actually then ask you to choose what product code you've set up in the step next to you, which obviously is the actual ARO adjustment account or whatever naming convention you've used. That way, this is a stock item which will be used every single time a zero balance adjustment is actually done against the product. Okay? Alrighty. Now, for those of you, when you actually are creating these actual inventory items, it's imperative that on the Sales Details tab, please make doubly sure that the service product tick is not ticked. If it actually is ticked, what will happen is you won't be able to select it from the system default. So please make sure that this service product here is not populated for your ARO adjustment item. Okay. Alrighty. Now, in regards to configuration, and I know we've been through quite a lot in a very, very short period of time, but that's all the configuration steps required for the next-gen REM aspect. But again, as I said, please, if you've got any concerns at all, the files will be released this afternoon. Please start doing this as soon as possible, and again, make steps with it. Talk to the actual services team if you require any assistance. Okay. Now, what I want to go through now, guys, we've discussed, obviously, back of house, we've discussed configuration. What I want to now obviously show you is what you are going to find different from a front of house perspective in regards to connection capture, and again, in regards to the new next-gen business rules as well. So I'm going to step into the actual POS module right now. Okay. Now for this illustration, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grab a stock item and also two additional items that actually are flagged as an ARO product. Okay. Now, one thing I've got to note, guys, in regards to your actual ARO products, any accessory that you obviously want to flag for an ARO, we've actually introduced on the Inventory Master File a brand new flag on the Sales Details tab called Mobile Accessory. Now, for your inventory items, so obviously your digital accessories or anything as part of a Telstra TDA you can sell an ARO, it needs to be flagged as a mobile accessory so you can actually put that connection through at POS capture time. Now, we're fully aware, obviously, that it could be quite a few ranges of products that you want to flag automatically as being a mobile accessory. Now, what actually happens is in the inventory type setup, we now have put a new default. So under admin, system, inventory types. For each inventory type, I'll use DACC as a prime example for it. We now actually have, down at the very bottom, a mobile accessory, yes or no. So when you get a moment, all the items obviously, and again, the groupings might change per TLS to how you actually segregate your products. You need to flag that actual code type as being mobile accessory, yes. That way, every time a new product that you create is inserted that is using this stock code, it will flag the product as mobile accessory yes automatically for you. For all the items you've currently got, obviously, that I had not known what an ARO was prior to 2.34, if required, we can run a SQL for your database to actually flag them as mobile accessory yes for you. So if you want to say, I want all my DACC products to be flagged as being ARO approved, we can actually do an upgrade or SQL to actually flag them as mobile accessory yes to save you doing them individually. Okay? But the default now for new products created, once you set up your inventory type level, if it should default as a mobile accessory, this will then populate this field for every new insert you actually do.
Shane, is this done as part of the upgrade as well?
Yeah, well, what she asked for is get a list of your actual inventory types that you're after, and we can do that script for you.
Thank you.
Very straightforward. Okay. Alrighty. Now, back into POS to show you the workflow changes again. So again, I'm going to jump into the POS module as normal. Now, I'm just going to stipulate the changes in Next-Gen RAM and not go through it all. We're quite obviously aware on how we actually put a mobile phone connection through, but I was going to show you the changes that actually have occurred as part of Next-Gen RAM. So I will use this actual mobile product as being illustration. Again, choosing a serial number as per standard practice, and I'm going to now choose two products that I've actually got that are flagged as being mobile accessory, ARO accessories against the system. So I'll choose this one here. And again, this actual selection process is exactly the same on how you normally do the current workflow in ICE. There's no different. Okay. Okay. So when the connection module loads up, again, it will load up straight away. As you are currently aware at the moment, you can change the connection dates, premise code if required, search on the customer. Now again, you type in obviously correct data, this is illustration. Okay. So service identifier goes in exactly the same way as you would normally. Okay. Now, I'm going to do in this scenario here an MRO activation on this handset with an ARO attached to it as well. Okay, so I choose contract, GSM. I'm going to do a recontract. Okay, now you will see a new little tick box that's actually come into play now that was now actually around in the prior models. This tick box generates the $30 SIM-only recontracting incentives for the BMA and All4Biz BYO services, okay? So it is only to be selected if you want to apply that additional $30 to this sale. So please make sure that the sales staff don't check this every recontract. It is only applicable to be selected for the BMA and All4Biz BYO service activation. Okay. Per expiry date as per standard practice, handset contract, yes. If I now choose MRO, you'll see a brand new window that now appears that didn't appear last time. So the system will now prompt the user to data entry the MRO tier and the duration and select the category as part of the sale. And as I was saying before, the system will also save frequently used tiers so you can drop down straight away and choose them, all right? So that way it saves in data entering it. If that tier wasn't available or wasn't already pre-populated, I could type it in. So again, first step is entering in the tier, so there's an 864 for this example. 864, you enter. Drop down your contract duration, so say it's a 24-month MRO, I choose 24. Category, drop down, and you choose whether it's HRO, MRO, or an MRP activation. So that way you've got that segregation at the MRO level to know what type it was. Okay? If this was an MRP transaction, I'm going to actually choose MRP, and then go OK. And you'll see now the repayment now is populated at the very, very top. There's no more need to scroll through a million different tiers. You just type in or use the predefined ones for you straight away. In regards to service promotion, again, standard process, please drop down and choose the applicable service promotion category, and then again drop down and choose the applicable service program. Now, we are actually aware at the moment that in some categories, and again it occurs in the TEDCP and the actual BMA categories, you'll see there's duplicate plans here. These are due to the fact that Telstra's OIC system has one product code for Siebel and one product code for Legacy. We are going to be working with Telstra obviously to actually take this concern away of having duplicate codes, but again, each item has the same REM. So if you choose option 1 or option 2, it will not cause you any problems from a REM perspective because it will generate the same money as outstanding. Okay, so just be mindful of that. So if I was choosing a BYO plan 50 over 24, I would just choose that. And now, because I have products selected, which are ARO products, I now get selected to choose the ARO bundling option. Now, if I had, say, for example, products which I can put on ARO, but I haven't sold on an ARO in this instance, I can actually cancel out of this and actually finish the sale as per normal. So don't be concerned that you've got items that are flagged as ARO applicable, but you're not selling them an ARO in this example. You can actually bypass the step completely and go back to finish, and then actually take the POS tender types as you would normally do, cash, EFT, etc., etc. In this instance here, I actually want to go through and put that bundle, so I'll go back into here. I will now drop down the tier.
Hello, Shane. It's Jane here.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Just going back to MRO.
Yes.
Hello, it's Jane here.
Yeah.
It's just going back to MRO. What's the MRP?
MRP is when Telstra has a maximum retail price. So prime example of the MRP handsets were the ones for the Apple iPhones where you had a stock standard price you couldn't change. They were the MRP promotion. It's a Telstra naming convention. A majority of all of your activations will be MROs, I'm assuming, unless there are a MRP plan, so a maximum retail price plan. Okay? So back to our ARO bundling details, guys. So again, if this is a 120 tier, I would drop down, choose the 120. Contract duration, drop down and choose the duration. So again, 24 months is the only one currently applicable with the actual ARO. And again, the ARO, as per Telstra's business rules, needs to be activated the same day as the MRO. So at this current point in time, every ARO tier you do anyway should be only a 24-month period. What you then actually do is actually by the tick boxes here, choose which ones are applicable to be on this ARO. So for this example, I've got 2 accessories that are on this ARO tier. I can now go OK and actually apply those 2 items to it. And you'll see now that I've actually got under my ARO bundling, I've actually got 2 items selected. If I actually highlight my actual cursor across that, you'll see it actually shows me the actual names of those 2 items, so the stock code as well as the stock description, so I can see what's a part of that bundle. Okay. All I need to now do is go finish, exactly the same way as you would normally do. The system would generate a sales job ID, generate a connection ID, and the appropriate REMs as applicable. Okay? So I'll do it for this example here for you. I'll finish the connection off.
Shane, what if the value of the accessories doesn't add up to 120?
Yes, so the business rules, and again it refers back to the TDA, is that the actual ARO, if you've got the bundling of accessories, again they need to be the same RRP as what's actually on the floor, so the ticket prices must be the same, but the customer can pay more. So say for example the actual sum came to $189.95, you could put them on a 120 ARO tier and they pay the difference. You can't actually up the price of the accessories, and again, you can't actually obviously put onto a higher tier where the sum of the accessories are lower. Okay? But again, guys, all of those actual T's and C's are part of the TDA, the Telstra Dealership Agreement for your AROs. Okay. So I'm going to go no to process another connection so I can show you how it populates. So again, it now puts the actual ARO finance charge of 120 against its actual POS docket, because that was the tier I selected, and also the actual 864 for the MRO. So in the customer's eyes as well, as I said before, the customer, as part of the ARO details, are entitled to a full GST input credit for this actual sale. So in regards to the finance charge is done behind the scenes and the customer does not see it. So again, that way they are fully actually can accrue the tax total from this sale for the entire balance of the ARO, excluding the actual finance charge. Okay. Now so I'm going to complete the transaction, and I'll just do a reprint, obviously in A4 format, because I can't show a thermal receipt. But here as an A4 reprint is an example of how the ARO will look for the customer. So I'll put it back to that side again if it is easier. Okay, so you actually have the handset is per normal, you have the accessories coming per normal, okay, the subtotal is the GST X amount of all of those lines combined, okay, the GST component of the products, and then the actual total due, and again the total paid. So you can see here the full value of the tier is actually shown against the actual receipt for the customer.
Shane, it's Wally. Will ICE allow you to book out 5, 6, 7 different accessories?
Yes, you can, definitely. You can as many as you want.
Okay, so.
Yeah, no worries. Okay. So what the system's actually done now is in the background is actually generated a finance charge for the appropriate tier. So again, because there's actually a certain finance component for this, we may not want to, I'm assuming you're not going to, want to obviously take that as being a GP item for in the actual sales rep's eyes. So obviously that $20 finance charge or the $40 finance charge, we want to remove that off the GP. So on the sales history report, I'm just going to run one for today for you. You'll be able to see now exactly what the system has done behind the scenes. By using the actual finance charge we actually set up in the system has now generated a -1 line again at $20, and again has no GST because again we had our inventory stock code set up as being GST exempt for $20. So that way, from a obviously a GP perspective, it is actually reducing this amount of money off that sales rep for that sale. Okay, that way it's not taking or overinflating the GP they've actually made on that sale. But from the customer's perspective, they are not affected at all by the actual finance charge. They don't see the finance charge. It's all done behind the scenes. Okay, so that's the only difference in regards to the ARO finance charging for the system.